In the heart of the old kingdom of Umaka, where the moon used to shine like a gossiping neighbor's lantern, there lived a prince whose destiny was written in thunder. His name was Prince Obiora, the only son of King Nana III, ruler of the 7 hills and keeper of too many wives. Now, Obiora wasn't like other princes who walked around with chests high like hilltop statues. He was gentle, a bit too curious, and dangerously romantic. The palace guards used to whisper, "This one, love will finish him one day." And as fate would have it, they were right. It began during the festival of ancestors, that night when the living danced with the dead, symbolically of course. The people would wear white wrappers, light torches, and sing songs that could wake a sleeping masquerade. But something strange happened that year. As the drums rolled and the wind carried the smell of palm wine and roasted yam, Obiora saw her. A girl, standing at the edge of the palace courtyard. She wasn't dressed like the others. Her wrapper was plain, almost glowing. Her eyes, like wet charcoal, dark, deep, and full of unspoken stories. He blinked once, she was gone. He blinked again, she was standing right beside him. "Why are you looking at me like that?" she asked, her voice soft, musical, with a strange echo like someone speaking through a dream. Obiora smiled awkwardly. "Forgive me, I've never seen beauty so quiet before." She laughed, that kind of laugh that feels like a flute playing inside your heart. "My name is Amara," she said, and before the drum stopped beating that night, the prince was already lost. The next morning, he sent his guards to look for her. They searched every hut, every path, every market stall. Nobody knew her. Nobody had seen her. "Maybe she's from the next village," said one guard. "Maybe you are just tipsy, my prince," said another, dodging a royal slap. But Obiora knew what he saw, and from that day, the palace changed. He stopped attending council meetings. He stopped eating with his father. He even stopped laughing at the palace jesters' jokes, which was a serious national crisis. At night, he would walk alone through the royal garden, whispering her name. Then one night, as the moon stood tall and proud, she appeared again. "Obiora," he breathed, "where do you go every day? I look for you till the bird stops singing." She smiled sadly. "You shouldn't look for me, Obiora." "Why not?" "Because I don't belong here." He laughed softly. "Are you from the next kingdom? Tell me, and I will bring your people gifts. Even your king will dance when he hears I want to marry his daughter." She turned away. "You can't marry me." "Why? You don't love me?" Her silence was louder than any answer. Then she whispered, "I am not what you think I am." And before he could reach her, she faded into the night air like smoke disappearing into Harmattan sky. The next morning, Obiora fell sick. Not ordinary sickness, love sickness mixed with spiritual fever. He wouldn't eat, he wouldn't talk. He just sat by the window staring into nothing. The palace priest was called. He burned herbs. He shook his rattle. He spoke to spirits. After some minutes, his eyes widened. "Your Highness," he said, trembling, "your son has fallen in love with a spirit from the river world." The king stood up. "A what?" "A spirit, my king. The girl he loves is not among the living." The queen gasped. The room fell silent. But the prince didn't care. When they told him, he only smiled weakly and said, "Then I will marry her there." The king was furious. "Are you mad? You want to disgrace my crown with a ghost wife?" But Obiora just looked up, eyes calm but burning with something dangerous. "Father, love doesn't die. It only changes address." That night, he dreamt of Amara again. This time, she was crying beside a river. "Obiora, stop calling me," she said. "Each time you do, I lose a little of myself." "I can't stop," he whispered. "I will find a way to be with you." She looked at him with sorrow in her eyes. "Then be ready to lose everything you know." And as the wind howled, He woke up, his pillow wet, his chest pounding like a festival drum.
The next morning, the palace was louder than the market on a new yam day. Word had spread that the prince had fallen for a ghost, and everyone suddenly became a prophet. Some said he was cursed, some said it was love madness, but most said, "Na woman go finish this boy." King Nana had had enough. He summoned the royal council, 12 old men with enough wrinkles to tell stories of 3 generations. "My son," the king began, trying to sound gentle, "there are things in this world that belong to humans, and others that belong to spirits. You must forget her." But Obiora only bowed. "With respect, father, how can I forget someone who breathes in my dreams?" The elders murmured. The king sighed deeply. "Then we shall cleanse you," the high priest declared. "If she is truly a spirit, we will break the bond tonight." That evening, the palace courtyard was filled with smoke and chanting. They drew white chalk circles on the ground, lit palm oil lamps, and poured libations. Obiora sat in the middle, eyes closed, as the priest danced around him, shaking his rattle. But midway through the ritual, something happened. The lamps flickered, the wind stopped, and a cold voice filled the air. "Stop!" Everyone froze. Amara was standing at the edge of the circle, her wrapper fluttering though the air was still. She said, "You call this love madness, but this bond was written before time." The priest fell to his knees, trembling. "Spirit of the river world, leave the living alone." Amara looked at Obiora, eyes glistening. "You wanted to find me, now you have." And in front of everyone, she stepped into the circle. The lamps burst into bright flames. The chalk lines vanished, and when the smoke cleared, only Obiora remained standing. He looked around. The crowd had scattered. Even the king had taken refuge behind his throne. Amara was gone again, but her scent, a strange mix of river mist and hibiscus, lingered. That night, Obiora went to the river alone. The moonlight danced on the water like silver coins. "Amara," he called, "show yourself." The river rippled. Then she rose slowly from it, her feet never touching the ground. "Why do you keep calling me, Obiora?" "Because you belong here with me." She shook her head sadly. "I belong nowhere. I am caught between 2 worlds, a punishment for something I didn't do." "What happened?" Her eyes darkened. "Many years ago, a jealous priest cursed my soul. I was to wander the earth unseen by the living until someone truly loved me without fear." Obiora took her hand, or tried to. His fingers passed through hers like mist. "I am not afraid," he whispered. She looked at him for a long time, and then smiled, tears streaming down her face. "Then let it be so." The next morning, the palace woke to shocking news. Prince Obiora had announced he was getting married. To who? Nobody knew. The king nearly choked on his kola nuts. Married to who? That river apparition? Obiora only said calmly, "Prepare the royal drums. I have found my queen." The kingdom exploded with gossip. Some laughed, some feared, but curiosity won. Everyone wanted to see how a man could marry a ghost. The wedding day came. The sky was clear, the drums were loud, and the palace yard was decorated with white cloth and palm leaves. But no bride was seen. The elders whispered, "Maybe she is shy." The guards said, "Maybe she is invisible." The king muttered, "Maybe my son has lost his head." Then, as the sun reached its peak, a soft wind swept through the courtyard. The white cloths fluttered, the air smelled of the river. And Amara appeared, graceful, radiant, dressed in shimmering white, like light had self-woven her gown. The crowd gasped. The priest's hand shook as he tried to read the marriage blessings. His voice trembled as he said, "Do you, Prince Obiora, take this, woman?" Obiora smiled proudly. "I do." "And you, spirit of the water, do you?" "I do," Amara interrupted, her voice echoing in everyone's chest. And with that, the wind picked up, the torches burned brighter, and the two were joined, man and ghost, life and death, as drums rolled like thunder in the distance. That night, they said the river itself danced. Fishermen claimed the water glowed softly and sang in a woman's voice. And the next morning, the prince's chamber was locked. Nobody dared open it. After 3 days, the king finally ordered the guards to break down the door. Inside, Obioro lay on the bed, peaceful, smiling, but his eyes were open and empty. There was no sign of Amara, only a faint scent of the river and hibiscus. My people, if you are still listening to this story, make sure you subscribe before we go deeper, because what happens next will shock even your ancestors.